I did not ask to sue Senator Natasha Oduagan by Pius Modi. This is a disclaimer. Last week, the Federal Attorney General and Minister of Justice, Mr. Lateef Fabemi, filed a suit before the Federal High Court on behalf of the Federal Republic of Nigeria against Senator Natasha Oduagan. In the criminal suit, Fabemi accused the senator of laying false accusations against Senate President Godswill Akpabio and Alhaji Yahaya Bello. On behalf of Nigerians, Fabemi wants Apoti Oduagan convicted of criminal charges. Let it be known that I was not consulted before the nation's chief law officer opted to spend our national patrimony to pay lawyers to defend Akpabio and Bello. As a former governor who receives huge pension from his Akwa Ibom state, Akpabio has more than enough resources to hire first-rate lawyers to pursue criminal conviction of Apoti Oduagan. For Bello, he still has unrestrained access to Kogi's treasury, having planted a successor who gleefully told his people that when his instructions are contrary to that of Bello, his godfather, they should jettison his. I do not understand how the injuries Akpabio and Bello purportedly suffered from Apoti Oduagan's allegation that Fabemi has used to public resource that Fabemi has to use public resources to seek his definition of justice for the duo. It is rather insulting that Nigerians' names and resources are being used to prop the reputation of the Senate President and the former Kogi governor. At the peak of the End Bad Governance protests of August 2024, Akpabio derided Nigerians for complaining of the hard times. Speaking at an event organized by the Niger Delta Development Commission in Port Harcourt, when the protests had spread nationwide, Akpabio mocked Nigerians, protesting the nightmarish and harrowing hardship and hunger. Those who want to protest can protest, but let us be here eating, he had said derisively. Amnesty International condemned his classification of the protests against the backdrop of what the BBC called the worst economic crisis in a generation as insensitive and reckless. Indeed, Akpabio has been eating way beyond the capacity of his digestive system to process. It was a daring mockery of the people, which is not a surprise because he owes the people nothing and cannot credit them with his coming to the Senate. Having pulled out of the presidential primaries, he initially signed up for when he stepped down for the candidate Bola Tinubu. That would have been the end of the road for him under the provisions of the Electoral Act. He did not just get to become a senator, but its president. He owes that amazing change in fortune to his political godfathers and the judiciary that somehow ambushed the rules of the game. He had no cause to sympathize with the people who could not cope with the prevailing, excruciating economic situation. The few who had the privilege of getting crumbs from his table were told to eat while they can. For Yahaya Bello, who came as a young man, he ended up a bad poster boy for the not too young to run campaign under the Muhammadu Buhari administration. As the governor of Kogi State, he was more in the precincts of Aso Rock Villa, where he elected to be a chaperone for Buhari's son, than Lokoja, his state capital. He lived large and did not brook voices that sought to remind him of his primary assignment was to work for the people of the state. There are tales of how he never pulled punches in dealing with his political enemies. Even out of office, he remains untouchable. The EFCC can attest to that. Despite the anti-graft agency's attempts to make him account for his stewardship, they played the ostrich. The pretense eventually ended, and Bello even wanted to join his colleagues in the Red Chamber of the National Assembly after the dubious and aborted recall of Senator Apoti Oduagan. Akpabio and Bello are two misfits of democracy that have dedicated their political lives to living off people. Why does Fabemi want to insult Nigerians by spending public funds in a frivolous suit? They have the right to take Senator Akpoti-Oduaghan to the Supreme Court if they so wish, and they can afford it. But using Nigerians' collective names and resources to seek judicial refuge for Akpabio and Bello is demeaning to the psyche of the people. They no longer enjoy immunity under the Constitution and are just like every other private citizen. No Nigerian was defamed by Akpoti-Oduaghan's allegation against the two men. It is up to them to challenge her allegations in the court. One more thing for Fabemi to note. The Kogi Central Senator is married to a Deltan. In Delta State, we respect and protect our women, mothers, sisters, wives, and daughters. The Delta wife has not hurt, defamed, or insulted her husband's people. On the contrary, we are proud of her. That does not reckon with Nigerians' perception of her, which is enchanting. Using public funds to pay legal fees for Akpabio and Bello is unacceptable. It is fraudulent to embark on this insulting venture with my name and those of other Nigerians. My share of the national cake should not be used to defend these men I consider misfits of democratic governance. I object this fraud as a member of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Well, let's see what other people have to say about this. Some people think they can talk and blow grammar to deceive fellow countrymen, but not all readers, especially like me. Where did Senator Natasha get the money she has been spending on her own allegations against her opponents? Is it not from her constituency allowances? You have to realize that misunderstanding and fight will not bring progress, but retardation to the people you claim to love and represented, and for that reason, choose the path of peace. Very insulting. Playing mini-god with the patrimony of every Nigerian. This is showing how insensitive and callous this Tinubu's government is. I beg to remind all Nigerians of good conscience that Tinubu is fighting Nigerians for rejecting him at the polls. This man knows what he went through in occupying that office, hence his first line of action was the removal of subsidy. He lost Lagos that was seen as a stronghold, hence the suffering of Lagosians anytime Mr. President is visiting. It is true that there are some people in Nigeria that will live for Aso Rock forever and ever. They are not going to die number one. Let those people protesting continue and let us be enjoying ourselves here. Those people bringing poverty to Nigerians will not see the next election. Well, these people have all given their opinions on this. Make sure to leave your own opinions in the comments down below. And don't forget to like and subscribe. And make sure to turn on notifications so you can be notified when we upload daily content here on this channel. And make sure to share this video with your family and friends so that they know what is going on and they can give their own opinions on this.